And welcome back to another episode of Swagger Through the Storm, a subsidiary of The Scoreboard Never Lies, kind of an offshoot I've been doing the last few months, talking about people's plights and absorbing some of life's hits, bouncing back. We have some special guests this week, right now, and I've had Jason Myrtetus on the show before, also on the Philly Pulse, to talk about his plight through colorectal cancer and just what he's been doing. People want to know where he is in his journey, and he joins us right now from his home studio. Always kind enough to join us. He's coming in three, two, one. There he is. What's up, Jay Mert? How you doing, bro? You hear me okay?
There we go. Let me make sure my mic's feeding correctly.
You're hot, man. You're hot.
Hot.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you. What's going on? We're kind of doing updates on people's journeys, and we've had you on before, obviously. And Jason, former colleague of mine at 97.5, The Fanatic. Also, before we get started, we got a new gig at Crossing Broad. I saw your article the other day on kind of like the history of sports talk radio, where it is now. It was very, very good piece. Tell us what you're doing there, bro.
Just doing some writing. I know it's crazy, Joe, because as I started this career like you did so many years ago, 30 now, I've
Cool.
never written. I never wrote anything. I was never a writer. I didn't train to be a writer or anything. And Kevin Kincaid came to me and said, "Hey, we have an opportunity if you want to do some writing." And I thought about it, and the cool thing is that I'm not constrained in any way. Obviously, during the hockey season, I'm going to write about the Flyers.
Sure.
And
That's your baby.
yeah, more analytical kind of stuff about the Flyers, more kind of peeling the onion back, not surface stuff that you'll get every day from everybody, but stuff that I see and my take on things. But I have free reign to write whatever I want. So, I decided to write about sports radio because Mike was let go from the Fanatic for the second time, and
Is that
it
all? So
had
just the second time?
yeah, but he's kind of like had an unceremoniously bad exit from his career. What was a really good career, right?
Great
From sports
career.
radio. Yeah, I mean,
Tremendous career. He was one of the pioneers.
yeah, I mean, he's one of the guys that did huge ratings for a long time. Did a
Huge.
great show. Worked with multiple people, including myself. And I hate to see it end like that for him because, like, I saw the way that Angelo went out. And Angelo had the year where he knew he was retiring and he could really put a bow on a great career. Mike didn't get to do that. So, um,
Is it really over for Mike? Because Mike seems to find ways to make comeback. I go back with Mike for the Ricky Waters days. I don't know if you remember that show,
Ricky Waters show,
the Ricky
yes,
Waters show.
phenomenal.
I was just out of college.
Yeah. But
I
what a great
mean,
way to start, right?
you,
Like you're mixing up
right?
with Ricky Waters and Mikey Miss. Like you're like, this is awesome.
And Ricky had an embargo with the Philly media. He was pissed. He only talked to me and Mike. And it was
Yeah.
great. I was like, really?
And he's like the biggest guy in town at the time.
Tremendous.
I love, by the way, I love Ricky Waters.
So do I.
We had him on at the Maxwell Club probably about 10 years ago, Mike and I. But no, I mean, yeah, I think Mike may do something in maybe the on demand space. I don't know if it'll be sports. I know he's got a huge interest in true crime with his legal background. He's got a huge interest in wine. He's a partner of a winery. So I don't know what he's going to do.
Got
Um,
options.
yeah, yep. He's got options. And I think he was probably pretty smart with his financing and those kind
Yeah.
of things. So he can pretty much do what he wants, but I don't think he wants to just sit around and do nothing,
No, he
knowing
doesn't.
Mike.
He's not one of
Yeah.
those guys.
No, he's not going to be a guy that's just going to go golf 5 days a week and call it. No, it's just not kind of him. So yeah, I decided to write about sports radio and kind of, where it's gone and where it's gone wrong, frankly, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. People see
Well,
the
we have you
ratings now.
on. I mean, I don't know. I read the piece. I thought it was great, but for people who haven't, where do you think it went awry or off the rails?
Well, I think there was a couple of kind of forks in the sports radio road that they had to navigate. Number one, obviously, when it first started in the mid '80s here and in Philadelphia and at FAN in New York, it was kind of like, okay, we got to kind of figure out what this thing is, right? Everybody likes to talk sports. Can we make it exist on the radio? And the interesting thing is, in the beginning of it, we didn't have cell phones, so the interaction with the audience
Right.
was limited because people were calling from home. But sports radio was much more consumed in the car than it was from the home, because it's what we call in radio parlance and programming an active listen. You have to really be listening because it's a conversation. You want to hear kind of every dynamic of. It's not just background noise like music. So eventually, when cell phones came in, that was a huge boon to it. We all of a sudden were going, let's go to Joe on the cell, those kind of things. And it really took off. But what it did was it gave all of these sports fans a much more amplified voice. So it blew up and got big. And I think that the late 90s, it hit kind of a pivotal crossroad when streaming started to come into the equation. And I thought radio was really arrogant about that and kind of ignored it and didn't take the threat seriously. And then they played catch up on that one. And then from a programming standpoint, they had to figure out a way for this to evolve because it was getting tired.
It was.
We were seeing data that when callers called, we would lose audience. Certain callers that it was becoming very analytic driven, like sports,
Right.
where we could see, hey, if we have Adam Schefter on past 11 minutes, people start tuning out. So we could see that stuff. So we were programming smart, and you know, the one thing they wanted to do, the big thing in sports radio, is to get people to tune in, tease them to tune in, and keep them as long as you can. And what is that? That is a hot take to get them to tune in, and to keep them as long as you can. You just gotta. I mean, it just isn't working. The content's not working. You have to talk Eagles, Eagles, Eagles for the expectation,
All Eagles
and
all
it's
the time.
become all too predictable. And predictability in un, it's predictable in its unpredictability in the hot takes, disingenuous hot takes that are going to take place.
They're
One day,
manufactured.
yeah, one day it's the Phillies offense stinks. They can't win a World Series. 4 days later, their offense is going to lead them to the World Series. And
I
I'll call
saw
him
that in
out.
your
Joe
article. It made
Giglio.
me laugh. Made me
I
laugh.
mean, that guy flopped more than any fish I've ever seen on a dock. And it's disingenuous.
It's like
It's just there to
clickbait.
poke the audience. I don't like that. You never approached it that way. I never approached it that way. Um, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it today.
I hear you. No, I agree that it's getting very clickbaitish and
Yeah,
it kind of loses its credibility. But and you've been there since like the embryonic stage too. So it was a great article if
yeah,
you get a chance to read Jason Myrtetus on Crossing Board. And you're a weekly columnist?
yeah. I'll be writing a column every week. And yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to write about this week, but starting to cull some ideas together. And I kind of do it when it's not going to be like every Tuesday at noon. It gets really.
Sure.
I'll write stuff when I feel like I really have something to say, and that'll be weekly.
Well, congratulations. Are you still doing the this year the in-host Flyers gig that you've
Yep.
always had?
Yeah, we signed a new contract in the
Good.
off season. My contracts kind of go the same way the NHL does. That July 1st to June 30th, we stay on the hockey calendar. So yeah, I'm back for another year, and looking forward to it. I can't wait to get started. I'm ready to. I feel good enough now physically to go back to work without limitation. So I'm really excited.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure I'm thrilled to hear that because last time we talked to you, it was tough hearing some of the stuff that you were talking about, and you were very open about it, which was great because I know a lot of people out there aren't. It probably gives people almost permission to. It's okay. It's okay to
Yeah.
speak and talk about what's going on behind the scenes because a lot of times you'll see that, oh yeah, I'm good. You're not.
Nope. I wasn't.
Behind those eyes, you're exhausted and you're dealing with a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that maybe you don't feel comfortable telling. You were very open about it. And how are you doing? Where are you in your journey?
I'm doing much better. We'll just kind of start there. I finished my 28 radiation treatments and oral chemo probably like 4 or 5 weeks ago at this point. So the last 2 weeks after that were, particularly the last week after, were pretty tough because that was at the point where I had the most radiation in my body and the side effects were at their peak. But I started getting, just feeling better more every day, getting stronger every day. Fatigue is fading a little bit, although I still have it. So, like, every day, still I'm hitting a wall at some point. And just like it's been through this entire process, it doesn't come with warning. I'll be doing stuff around the house at 5:30, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Ooh, I got to go lay
Boom,
down."
you got to lay down.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I got to listen to my body and do it, and I do.
And it's okay to rest. People have
Oh
to
yeah.
know that. It's okay to
hmm
rest.
Yeah, that's one thing that like I wouldn't have been good at before this, but it's a skill that I have now really put into play because I
Good.
have to, you know. So, um, but my next scans are October 9th. I'll have a CT scan in my chest and my abdomen and a pelvic MRI, and that'll kind of tell us where we are. And I have to meet with my oncologist, my surgeon after that. Um, I'm hoping to avoid surgery. I don't think that's likely. They'll have to go in and take something out, and that'll get me to a cured status. If that's the case, um, the big thing for me was my CEA levels. When I was diagnosed, my CEA, which is your carcinoma embryonic antigen, it's a marker in your blood that's very specific marker, especially for colorectal cancer. Mine was elevated, like normal is between 2 and 4.9. Mine was like 27.
Oof.
Yeah, off the charts, right?
Yep.
In January. And then at the end of chemo, it was down just above normal, like 6. Now it's below average. So
Great.
I don't know what it means. Ultimately, the scans and MRI tell the whole story, but I don't feel sick. Um, everything's normal in the way my body functions right now for the
Tremendous.
most part. And, uh, I'll deal with whatever the scans and MRIs say when they say it. I'm not gonna dwell on that now and waste, today, yesterday, tomorrow, and all that stuff, but just living in panic and fear. So
Because it's not productive. There's nothing you can necessarily do about it. And for people who don't know, and you educated us on this before, in terms of being cured of it, they're going to do the scan, and if there is something there that they shrink, that obviously the tumor, that's what the whole process was about. And then they could possibly remove it, or it's gone. Is that correct?
yeah, I mean, if they go in and they see total response, there's no signs of cancer cells or anything, then there's a decision to make. They'll say you can get surgery and have that part resected, an LAR procedure it's called, laparoscopic something or other resection, or you can go into a program called Watch and Wait, where they monitor you every 3 months very closely for a number of years to make sure it's not coming back. And if it does come back, you have to have an emergency surgery to get it out. But if they go in and they take out like that area, um, then it's less likely to return. So if there's any upside to a surgery, I'm getting surgery. And really the question would be in that regard would be just how invasive is the surgery? How much do they have to take out? Do they have to take out enough where they have to reroute my plumbing and I'm on a stoma on the bag, an olostomy bag, for 2 to 3 months before they can reverse it and reconnect me? But if they do that, there's a lasting effect to that too. Like your bowel function is going to be different the rest of your life. So there's a lot of things to consider.
Where do you think, if you don't mind me asking, which I guess you'd have to wait and see what they say, what they find, or because it sounds like if there's any way the surgery can happen and can rid of the
Yeah,
actual problem.
curable is the goal.
Yeah.
So I would say, it's a 95% chance I'm having surgery. It's again just that question of how much. And I'm preparing myself for that to have it. I'll be in a hospital about a week getting it. Um, but again, I just don't know how much they're going to have to take out.
When will you know?
So I have the scans on October 9th. I have a meeting with my oncologist the week after, and I meet with the surgeon at the end of October. So
Okay.
I'll know right around November.
Okay. Well,
Kind of get
sounds
an
good.
ETA.
Good luck
Yeah.
with everything, brother.
Yeah, I mean the good news is that I have an opportunity to get to that status of cured. You know what I mean?
Amazing, right? Because
Yeah.
people who don't know are just watching this for the first time, you had waited a while after you had symptoms. You thought it might be something else, or maybe you were just, I didn't want to deal
In
with it.
denial.
Denial.
Straight up denial.
You're one of the lucky ones. It sounds like this is going to be a good ending.
Yeah. I don't know how I got lucky like I did because, I mean, it wasn't a little bit that I denied it, Joe. It was a good 18 months, 2 years that I denied it. So colorectal cancer is a slow growing cancer and tumor. So that obviously benefited me. But, when I was diagnosed at stage 3B. Um, I had some lymph node involvement, which has now been resolved with chemo, thank goodness. But I didn't have any spread. So I'm in a position where I can get to that status of of being cured. At the end of my when we figured everything out that we were going to do, my treatment plan, and I was reading over it. At the bottom of it, my oncologist wrote, um, "The intent of treatment is curative intent." And I had to Google that because I never heard of that before. I didn't know what that meant,
Sure.
but that's exactly what it means, is to be cured of it, not in remission. It's just to be cured of cancer. That's different than palliative
And if
intent.
God willing, that happens, do you still have to be monitored every 6 months, every year after that, or do you go
A
back to
good,
normal status?
it's a good question. I'm sure for a period of time they will monitor me, because cancer cells can kind of
Sure.
hide, and so yeah, there'll be some probably much more intense monitoring than the normal person. But as you go year, 2 years with no return, obviously, things will start to lighten up a little bit.
Well, good. Any message you have for the folks out there? I mean, we're going to
Oh
keep
yeah,
obviously having you on, and I'll be in touch with you obviously because you're doing a phenomenal job, and certainly a testament to everyone who's taken some blows and really come back strong. But any message for the folks out there?
yeah. I mean, first of all, listen to your body when something's not right. You know when it's not right. You know in your head. I knew in my head, I shouldn't be feeling like this for
Sure.
now multiple weeks, or this symptom is not normal. Just go to your doctor as soon as it happens. Go and advocate for yourself. Just wait a little bit. No, advocate for yourself. If you have a gut feeling, trust your gut. If you feel like you need a colonoscopy because something's not right, push to get one. Whether you're uh, below 45 years of age or above it, get it. And if you're above 45, just get it, even if you're having nothing. There's a guy that it does a Phillies podcast that had no symptoms, and he had some heart issues and went and got some tests and then got a colonoscopy, and he started his chemo yesterday. So just go and get it. It's not an invasive procedure. There's no discomfort or pain or anything like that. Just go and get it and listen to your body, because you don't want to go through the 7 months of treatment that I went through. Trust me, you do not.
Go back and folks and watch the podcast we did, and Jason kind of laid
Oh,
it out. You do not
yeah.
want
I
to
saw a
go.
picture the other day. I posted it on Twitter. I said this was like kind of in the teeth of, like, after 6 chemo treatments, like 12 weeks in. And boy, I didn't realize how crappy I looked. Like, I was no color, and just, I looked like I had no strength. My eyes were just, ugh. I mean, you kind of exist in the moment, but looking back, I saw that picture and I took myself back to how I knew I felt at that time. Boy, I did. It is a rough road. It is very difficult. And anybody going through it, I reach my hand out and say, if you need anything, I'm here. And it's it's going to take an army of people to help people get through it. So the best thing to do is to avoid that and be proactive.
Well, you look great, man. You look tremendous. I'm really happy that things are going your way. You are a testament, and you're certainly an inspiration to look upon for anyone who's going through anything. But my goodness, you've been through hell and back. Good
Yeah, I
job.
mean, I'm definitely not 100% yet, and I'm reminded of that. My body tells me,
Sure.
but I'm getting, physically stronger every day, mentally stronger every day, because that's the other thing. Like, the mental toll it takes on you is really significant.
Draining.
Yeah, it is. I mean, cancer, and I'll tell people this that have friends or family that are dealing with cancer. Don't just call them and say, "Hey, don't call me back. I'm just shoot me a quick note. How you doing?" Nah, talk to them. Get on the phone. Go visit them, because cancer and treatment is insanely isolating. And I understand people don't want to go face to face with it. I understand it's uncomfortable, but it really helps the people. I never talked to so many people on the phone in since the advent of cell phones, than when I was in treatment.
That's
I would
right.
call everybody back. I'd spend an hour on the phone. When's the last time you spent an hour on the phone, Joe? In high school with with
I
some
never thought.
lassie.
You're right.
I never. I'm talking to all kinds of people, connecting with people, and just talking on the phone. It helps big time. It's a distraction. It's camaraderie, and it's
Cathartic.
healing. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Well, good stuff. I can't let you go without asking the Flyers question. They've always been my baby, and kind of hit some rough times this year. Tockett's taken over the bunch, and I'm sure you're aware Carter Hart and the boys, walked, and he has a new opportunity, new lease. I don't know what's going to happen with Carter Hart. Probably not anything here in Philadelphia. What do we know about the Flyers this coming year?
They made some moves. They didn't really make any moves that are long-term commitment. You signed Dvorak to a one-year deal. You signed Dan Vladar to kind of be in tandem with Sam Ersson to a two-year deal. And I mean, the biggest thing on the marquee is the Tocchet hiring.
Sure.
That leads the way. And what can Talk do with this group? Ultimately, a coach can only do something if he's got talent, and they still need more. Yeah, they went out and got Zegras. Yeah, they got Martone in the draft and Mishkov here too. Still need more, and they need guys to step up. They need a core five of players to continue their development, whether that's Tyson Forster, Cam York, Jamie Drysdale. Owen Tippett needs to break through to that next level with his contract now in the prime of his career. Noah Cates needs to go to another level. They can do those things and kind of solve the goaltending issue to some degree in power play. Then they're a team that's going to take a big step forward. And next year, they got all this dead money coming off the books. But, you can have all this money and want to spend it and spend it on the right guys. But are those right guys going to be interested if you have another dog poop season? You've
Right.
got to show some progress this year. Zegers is going to be fascinating to watch because, I mean, as you know, there's so much talent there, skill. There's been a ton of sizzle with him in his career so far. There just hasn't been enough steak. Like we need a nice porterhouse with him, right? Getting traded at 23, 24, when you've been on the cover of the video game and all that can really shock a guy. I'm hoping it shocks him into a really good place. He's an East Coast guy too. Born and raised in New York. Drove down to our draft party with his mom in Atlantic City.
That's
So,
cool. That's
yeah.
very cool.
So I'm excited. I'm ready to. I know Couturier said it on the radio a little while back, and I'll echo it. I'm tired of losing too.
Sure.
Joe, I haven't seen a playoff game in Philadelphia for the Flyers since 2018.
I was trying to think the other day, like when's the last time a playoff game happened in Philly?
Because the last time they were in the playoffs, it was the bubble where
Really?
where they get to Game
The
Seven in the
Islanders,
second
right?
round
The
against the
Islanders.
Islanders.
Game
Yeah,
seven. It went to game seven, right?
yep. But they're
That's
in the
right.
bubble in
Wow.
Toronto.
And it happened. That was like I was down the shore. That was like late August, early September, I
Yep,
believe. That's right.
exactly. Yeah, when
That's
they
right.
did the resumption of play.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, good stuff, man.
They
Wow,
did the little kind of round robin for the top teams, and Flyers ended up beating Tampa and
that's
uh,
right. There was a
yeah,
round robin, and they ended up. Wow,
determined seeding. Yeah,
good stuff, man. Well, I hope so. It's coming up. It's coming up again. So we'll be listening
like
to
two
you,
weeks, man.
questions and pregame, my
Rookie game.
friend.
Yeah,
We
rookie
appreciate you
game in
coming
2 weeks.
coming on, and we'll obviously keep track of your progress. And everyone out there, you can read Jason on Crossing Broad every week. And great stuff, my friend. It was good seeing you again. And take care. We'll be talking to you. God bless.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Joe. Everybody, thank you for your support. It's meant the world to me, and I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
He's the man, Jason Myrtetus from the Flyers, former colleague 97.5, and now a member of the Crossing Broad team. We appreciate you watching Swagger Through the Storm, folks. And we'll be back with another episode next week. I have a few more. I have another guest coming on next week, also is dealing with colorectal cancer, and some others that have just been, again, trying to make it through the storm as we all are. Appreciate you watching. And once again, I'm Joe Stazak. Catch you next week.